an ongoing story we've seen a bit of over the last few weeks. 2 ongoing stories. Clyden. 1, Bayern Munich, their downfall.
Yes.
They lost at the weekend.
I saw that, yeah. You know what?
Did you see what happened in the 85th minute of that game when they were 3-1 down?
No.
Hundreds of Bayern Munich fans storming out of the stadium in disgust, just like Spurs a few weeks ago, because Bayern are now still top.
But didn't Dortmund win?
I think at the time they were top. I think Dortmund are now, but yeah, they couldn't take it anymore. They're not sticking around to watch this shit anymore.
Yeah, like there's no other team, I think, of the world. Well, definitely in Europe, top 5 leagues, we'll say, you know, just for the layman. Like if you were like still in the title race, basically, you know, that you wouldn't stay and support the lads. Like, look, you know, we're still there. You know, you want to walk out now, 3-1 down. Like, we're done.
Oh, give it over.
I wouldn't even want to win it this way. You know, that's how they feel. They're sort of appalled by it. Yeah, look, Spurs and Bayern Munich, there's no comparison. In terms of just like the expectation and the players and the, you know, the history, everything else, it's like, no, it's apples and oranges there, Will, I have to say.
They just don't know. They don't know how to act. They've never seen this before, losing ever.
I mean, I tell you what, if Saudi Arabia had bought someone else, maybe they'd bought like Augsburg or something, you know, how would those Bayern fans they would have combusted, like spontaneously combusted. I thought, like, what do you mean we're not going to win every year?
I tell you, lads, you might never win it again.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the time.
No problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Carl and Will. Back a few weeks ago, Will, we were on the squeaky bum time clock. The last time I checked, we were hurriedly leaving the bathroom with shit in our pants. Still, we didn't quite get there.
I think we're home and hose now.
We're home and hose.
Bone's been washed.
But we know what happened, you know. Yeah. We can never go back to that bathroom stall again.
No.
Too many memories of a terrible 38 weeks.
Fun fact also, I actually learned what squeaky bum time means. I had no idea. Did you know this?
I thought that, Will, the whole analogy falls apart if you don't know what it means.
But then I actually learned.
Well, okay, before you tell me before I embarrass myself, before I get away with this, let me embarrass myself. My understanding of squeak bum time was you've taken a shit, you know, so it's time to get up. So you have to wipe your arse clean and make your arse clean. And then, you know, because like it's time to clean up the shit, you know, it's the end of the day.
Carl, that's exactly what I thought squeaky bum time was as well.
Oh, fuck.
It's not. It's a term coined by Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And it means the last few minutes of a game or the season where you're getting nervous and you're foostering in your little plastic chair in the stadium and your bum is squeaking off the seat.
Oh, I went like squeaky clean.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. Nothing to do with shitting your pants in the slightest.
Well, the shitting the pants is kind of our own spin in it. I assumed you were in the toilet and it's like, time to go, you know, like end of the session, you have to, the last thing you do is clean your arse.
Squeak the bum.
You don't want to forget that. If you forget that, then it's like, oh no, now I've shit myself. You know, that's...
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be fair, if Alex Ferguson said that on TV and people went, we should start saying that. That would be mad.
It's mad that me and you both just like kind of let that slide for years. It's like, he's probably talking about shit in his pants.
You probably you don't leave shit in your pants because we've all been there. We can all relate to that analogy.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
And then they all just start repeating it like, yeah. Well, this is the kind of stuff you come to this show for, folks.
Yeah.
This kind of, you know, idiocy that we were saying this for weeks. And you know what? This is on you, the fans, for not emailing in or letting us know.
Yeah.
They love us. See, this is the thing. If they wanted to stop, they've told us. They wanted to hear our moron brains talking out loud and butchering a One of the four cornerstones of English football.
We've been doing it for weeks.
We've been talking about this fucking shit our pants in the stall for no reason. No relevance to the saying. Okay, squeaking. That's actually, you know what? It's quite a poetic, colourful kind of thing now. The squeaking your bum in the plastic seat. But yeah, nothing to do with your asshole.
No.
Okay. Well. Moving on. Yeah, for all you math nerds out there who were just dying for it to be mathematically done, you've got your wish.
Yeah. Well done.
It was officially done when Arsenal failed to draw or win against Nottingham Forest away.
Yep.
Ironically, I thought in the City ground. I thought that's probably another psychological tool that's working.
The last word they needed to see going in there.
The where? Where were we playing?
Oh no!
I thought this was a forest, not a city. Yeah, it was funny because, you know, like the bottle talk. We've kind of obsessed over the bottle talk. One of us has, anyways. But how it is or isn't a bottling, but I guess it is a psychological kind of a thing because it's like once you lose the advantage, even before this game, if Arsenal won and City had beaten Chelsea, it was done. All City needed to do was win. So like you're Arsenal, you're going in, you're playing first, and you're thinking, you know, you're professional, so you put behind at the back of your head, you're thinking, we just got to play our game and create chances and like, you know, do what we do best kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like in every game, it doesn't happen, you know. And now you think, like, are we going to score here? You know,
yeah.
Are City going to lose to Chelsea? Like, is this really worth, you know, the effort? And then Nottingham Forest score and they keep coming at you like, why are they trying? Why are we trying? Like, we all know, like everyone in this ground knows that this is a pointless exercise. Like, this is in the back of your brain. This isn't obviously like a conscious thought, but like these are things that come into us. Whereas like even a team like City now, if they're in the opposite position, they would win against Nottingham Forest because in their minds going, no, like we can definitely win this. Like we won it before. Whereas Arsenal, the doubt sets in a young team, and that's why they say like, you know, you need to lose one to win one, because you need to just put those thoughts way, way, way at the back of your mind. But you could see Arsenal increasingly becoming like what is the point here? You know, it was done. They knew it was done. They had injuries. They're looking around at non-usual starters playing. It was like, no, this is.
I think they got something like 9 points in their last 25 or 27 or some mad record like that. It's just the wheels totally came off.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just that, I mean, and Pep talked about it, I think, as well. I think I mentioned this before, that he said, you know, back in September, November, like, we don't panic then because we know like how long the season is. And it's just the opposite for Arsenal, where it's like the season is coming to an end and it's like, oh no, like, I mean,
there's how many games left?
And then you have your injuries, and then like, and it's like similar, like say Saka or Martinelli, like they go through periods there where you don't score. It's like, you know, do you really have years of experience in your mind of like, I've been through these slumps before, you know?
Yeah.
It was like De Bruyne might go a few games without scoring a goal or assist. He's not worried, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though like it does all rely on him, like he's the one who showed up in that game against Real Madrid, but like he wasn't worried about that before going in, thinking it's all on me here. You know, it's all kind of automatic for him at that point. So yeah, look, bottling is, I wouldn't say it was a fear thing. I think it was just probably a general lack of experience, and also probably didn't have the squad, and player for player not as good as City. So
did you hear Arteta's quotes after the game?
Really, a really sad day. A lot of difficult emotions. Obviously, we lost the game. We lost the championship after 10.5 months fighting for it. 9.5 months almost on top of it. And obviously we built a lot of illusion, enthusiasm, and belief that we could go all the way and win it. And at the end we fell short. First of all, congratulate Man City. They are the champions. They deserve to be the champions. They've done it for 38 games. We haven't been able to do that. And that's it. And from my side as well, apologize because we have generated that belief and that we could do it, and at the end the team wasn't able to do it, and this is my responsibility.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, he's apologizing for what I was saying was the only good thing about it, that I did believe for a second, you know, that I did feel like, oh my God, it's going to happen, you know. I want the illusion. I want something, you know. I'd rather that than like the last, you know, because all these things now, like from people like me trying to say how this wasn't a bottling because like last year 6th, the year for that 7th, the year for that 8th. It's like, oh, it's making it worse. It's just like well, they'll never be back. They'll never have a chance again.
Oh, it's an outlier. Good.
And it still counts for nothing. It's a fucking a Harry Kane of a season. It counts for absolutely nothing in the end. In the kind of in the record books, came second and bottled that, whatever. But yeah, look, it's I think it's a weird thing that's come to sport. The apologizing, it's like that. Like you sign up for this. Like you might win, you might lose.
Who was he apologizing for or to? Like you gave it a good go, lads.
Yeah, sorry that your United friends and your group chats are going to make fun of you now. That's on me. That's my responsibility. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, again, if it does affect you that much, I think you need to just go for a walk outside as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But easier said that than done. Because I don't know. Cut that whole thing. Cut the whole pod. Yeah, no. Congratulations to City, I suppose. Fair. Yeah. Well, not fair play to them. I wouldn't say fair play.
No, definitely the opposite. Financial fair play to them.
Financial fair play to them. Yeah. There's a title. Financial fair play to City. Writes itself.
That's an easy one.
Financial fair play to City. That's almost as good as roll the dice.
That episode tanked though.
The keywords weren't there, but the puns were. We thought we were bigger than we actually were. We thought we had like an audience that was going to carry us up to the mark, but no. We need the randomers to click and go, oh, what's this? Oh, God. Never again. Jesus Christ, what was that?
They were talking about shit in their pants for the first 4 minutes.
That's not even what the phrase means. That's not what it relates to at all. Yeah. So, City, I mean, everything else aside, if you just look at the players and the squad and how they played, at a certain point in the season, I'm not really sure what it was, they haven't lost a game. So they've gone on an incredible run, and it's the same thing. It's like the back to Arsenal again about like the bottling or whatever. If City win the next 2 games, which I mean they beat Chelsea after definitely being on the beer, and playing.
And I tell you, their next game might be a struggle because I've seen a lot of videos of Jack Grealish and Haaland plastered. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that I saw the video of them at the house, like watching Arsenal win. I'd say they had like maybe a beer or 2 there.
Yeah. I did see a comment on that on Twitter where it was like, these guys, they weren't even arsed training. They knew Arsenal were going to lose this game because they're all gathered around the TV relaxed.
Yeah, they're like, maybe they're going to train afterwards. I don't know. But like, it was just, there was an inevitability to it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if they could beat Chelsea, and listen, it was Chelsea, but I mean, like, if they could beat them with Cole Palmer and Julian Alvarez, the backups. Yeah. After having a few beers the night before, not playing Gundogan, not playing Haaland, not playing De Bruyne. Like if they were to win the next 2 games, my point is that they would be the 5th highest points tally in Premier League history.
Yeah. And like after a poor start and with a World Cup in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and all their players played in the World Cup. So like
except for one.
Except
for big Haaland, who no wonder he broke every record.
He was the freshest man there. The freshest best player in the whole league, I'd say. Yeah, look, the record books don't remember this stuff. This is not important.
Exactly.
But yeah, like if they were to do that, then they would, and if they were to win the trail on top of that, are you going to say, yeah, Arsenal fucking really shit their pants there? It's like, because only 5 of the teams, and those 2 of those 5 teams were also City, by the way. It was the 100 points, and then they got like 98 points. I think it was Liverpool's 99, and I think Chelsea got one. I think it was Chelsea in.
Was it the Mourinho year?
Maybe they were 6th. I'm not sure, but it was basically Liverpool, Chelsea, Liverpool and City, and then this would be number 5. So yeah, like they're an unbelievable side. The quality, like whatever way they were constructed, it is an unbelievable side. I mean, the talk now is obviously the treble. It seems very likely because they're playing 2 finals where they're heavy favourites.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever been the case in a treble ever.
No, I know United season, they were up against it nearly every step of the way. The semi-final against Arsenal, semi-final against Juve, they scraped through them and Bayern final. So definitely wasn't the case then.
I remember when Inter won it, they definitely weren't favourites against Bayern. It was probably too close to call, I'd say. But like not to the versus Inter and City now. I mean, City are such heavy favourites, and again against United, the way United are playing and the injuries that they're having, it's like
they're just better. Yeah, so you're just better than them.
I don't remember any of the Barcelona probably won the treble one of those years, have they?
I think they had a year where they won like 7 things.
But even when they played that United side, they weren't as heavy favourites. If they even were favourites, I don't remember, to be honest. But like, you know, in terms of trebles in history, it's all stacked towards them. So the talk is like, you know, where do they stack over the best Premier League side ever? Which it's like, they're obviously better than all the ones in maybe the last 3 or 4 years. But before that, like the game progresses, you know, every year. So like, yeah, you can't compare them and the like Brazil 1970 teams. Like they would wipe off the pitch, but like that doesn't mean that they were, you know, genetically better players. It's just like the game has moved on. So it's like, yeah, if you look back and you go, this is good, but it's really not that good when you think of like, you know, 10 years ago. Just they're slower and weaker, you know, it's not the same. Like, well, I would hope that they would be better, you know. I'd hope that like you know, like even the pitches, like you look back on some of those like Premier League years, some of the pitches from like the late 2000s, like there's muck at the goals, and it's just it's like what? How was there?
This is in HD.
This is like because it's good quality picture, but like there's muck at the goals with the goalies. It's like, why isn't that pitch perfect? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So and then I remember when underground heating was a big talking point. So this was like because like a few GA pitchers were getting it, and it was going to cost like 600 billion to the taxpayers or whatever. You know, it was some kind of scandal. It was like, you know, and then it was like soccer pitches in Dublin had them, you know, so you knew they were like, you know, really, really technological advanced. So yeah, like now that's just like commonplace, like that kind of technology. That wasn't that long ago, you know. So yeah,
well, if even things as small as stop mowing massive logos into the grass. It's distracting to the players.
Yeah, the logos in the grass. That was great. I just think they should bring that back, though, you know?
But I'd say for offsides, a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, no, like they are an unbelievable team, and it's like, yeah, you can't really compare them with like other teams or different eras because, like, you know, it's just the games we've on so much. Even, you know, nutrition and everything, it's not comparable, but.
And then there's the looming cloud of the charges.
Yes, all that aside, City are great. There are deserving winners in terms of on the pitch stuff, whatever. I hate putting asterisks beside because it makes them like a bitter fucking Betty. But
you have to. It's a huge asterisk.
It's like 115 charges sitting beside them at the trophy. Like, you know, it's like they're on the bus. Like, you just know, like, it's like there's something isn't right about this. Like, you know.
Yeah. Like, if you think Ivan Toney got an 8-month ban for one charge.
Well, wasn't it 237 accusations from that? Like,
well, that's true.
Instances of betting.
That is true, actually, yeah. It was the one crime again and again and again.
If I stole, like, you know, a bar from the shop, like, you know, 8 months.
Yeah, it adds up. That's true.
If I stole 237 bars over a period of like 6 months, like, he's fleeced us. And like, I'm assuming he did fleece the bookies with all the, like, he made like 237 bets and won big every single time. It's like, wow, that's a problem. You can't be.
Yeah, we gotta stop that.
You gotta stop that, you know. But yeah, it's like, how long did fucking Trippier get? Bet the house on moving to Atletico, or bet the house on.
It was gone for a while, and now maybe it was like 6 games, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a bit. But like, yeah, they take betting very seriously because it's money involved, you know. This is obviously is also very money involved, but it depends where the money's going, you know.
Yeah,
like
this is rich people money.
Like Trippier and Ivan Toney were taking money from the bookies, who pay a lot of money to the Premier League to have sponsorship on their, you know, t-shirts and stuff like that. So it's like clear, you know, chain of power there. It's like, yeah, you're at the bottom here, players. Whereas this one is like, we don't know where the money's going. We don't know how far this goes, you know. But yeah, the Premier League did make the allegations against them. So, I mean, you'd imagine that'd be very straightforward, but I'd say there's a team of super lawyers keeping this at bay for now, but...
Yeah. And this is the thing, is like, by the time, you know, the punishments do come true, if they do come true, then it's like, it's too late now. They've won it. They've done all the stuff.
Yeah.
You have to stop them before they win the trebles and the Champions Leagues. There's no point doing it after.
Yeah, it's kind of empty victory then, you know, like,
yeah,
Like you saw that tweet from Jose Enrique when they first came out. So remember the left back from Liverpool?
Oh, yeah.
And he just like, am I a Premier League champion now?
Yeah.
And then they did an ad of Paddy Powers getting replica Premier League put into his house and stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm just so happy with it. He did a whole thing about it. But like, that's what, like, in reality, would you, that's a joke, obviously. But like, if you are, Saka, like in 3 or 4 years' time, you're going to go, yes, yes, yes. You just like get a notification on your phone and you start wildly cheering. You're like, oh, okay. I mean, I play at Real Madrid now, so it's kind of weird to celebrate for Arsenal. That happened, years ago. But
and the fans as well. You're never going to convince the fans that didn't happen. There's no Arsenal fan who's going to be like, I knew it. I knew we won the league. No, you lived through the crushing last month. You know what that felt like.
It'd be a logistical nightmare for the British police if you had a Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool parade all on the one weekend to celebrate the trophies they've now won. Like, it's like, there isn't enough police, you can't all have a parade.
There's not enough bobbies.
Yeah. Have to get the beef eaters in to supplement the police. That'd be pretty funny. The Kingsguard, like I said, they've reached their final form of a team that I now recognize as a team I do not want to win the league anymore.
Yes. We mentioned it on the Patreon podcast. The bonus episode. We were discussing how City have now become a team. They've become a real club in that I think everyone's kind of sick of them. Sick of them winning now. It was grand when Liverpool weren't winning and Arsenal weren't winning, but now I'm annoyed.
Well, they're spreading the love now. United probably feel like, some United fans probably feel like, you know what, like the default years where people had a down year, that's when United would pick up another one. People have to be at their best, and that's when they would beat United. But like now, that's City. So United are like, oh, that should be ours. Liverpool obviously feel aggrieved. Arsenal now are part of that thing. So it's like it's a growing fan base of people to feel aggrieved by. At one point, it was just Liverpool fans. People were like, yeah, get over, man. They beat you fair and square. And I was like,
better them than ye.
And now it's like, okay, well, it's better them than everybody. We've all had to go. No one's really, got us except for Liverpool.
They've hammered all of us.
Yeah, like, Liverpool have had that one, but like everyone says, that was a great team. Should have had 4. Oh, well,
Yeah.
So the one's not even worth this. United feel like they should have 1. Arsenal feel like they should have 1. So that's a growing base of like, this isn't actually funny anymore. What is happening to me? This is actually bullshit.
Has anyone checked their books?
Yeah. What about those charges? Where are we at with those, So yeah, look, you reckon that you saw a few videos, I suppose, of the team, did you? Celebrating?
Yeah. They're in full celebration mode. There was drinks are flowing, Haaland was swearing on TV. Exactly like we said. All I saw was interviews with Grealish and Haaland. Interviews with Grealish, Haaland, over and over and over again. They're the stars. They are the face of the club now. They
finally have the stars, the hateable faces, All they'll need now is like a nickname, like an enragingly bad, corny nickname that the media loves.
Yeah.
Like not like the Bash Brothers, but like the kind of like the Hair Brothers, like something like really crap. You know what I mean? Like the I'm like, oh no, don't give me the fucking the long haired brothers. Don't fucking. And here they are again, the long-haired brothers teaming up. I was like, no, I'm going to...
I hate them.
Like, turn off the TV kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing this today, not this weekend, Like a weekend in November where it's like just like shit weather. And it's like, oh, the long-haired brothers. It's like, oh, here, no.
Oh, fuck off.
Fuck this. That's where it's going to go to now. Because, like, afterwards, like, you watch fucking... You'd interview Gundogan and De Bruyne having, like, an Aperol Spritz or something, and you'd be like
a martini, perhaps,
with their kids and like wholesome. And you'd be like, it was a good game and it was a good season, and tactically, I think we really improved. Like, oh yeah, did you? Yeah,
boring.
Cut back to fucking Trent crying, please. That's what I want to see. But now it's going to be they won't show the little players. They'll be showing Haaland and Grealish and oh, this is great. And they'll I think the only hope really is Pep leaving, Pep getting bored, Pep getting chased out. Because like, look at United. As soon as Ferguson left, Disney ended. And they were as big and as powerful as you want them to be. Or even like a better probably example is PSG. Like without like a really strong, consistent leadership there, it's been like so poor in comparison to what City. I know City may win only their one first Champions League, but I mean, it's just the kind
4 out of the last 5 leagues though.
Yeah, in the Premier League versus the league and versus League, and I think they've just maybe I'm talking out my arse here now. Maybe PSG are us exactly the same.
No, but it makes sense because if you think about like all of the stars they've amassed at City, they do respect Pep, and like I think they have from day one because he's such a huge manager. But then the more City win, the bigger these stars become. And then if you bring in someone and half the team is like, oh, he's not as good as the last fella.
Yeah,
and then that's all it takes. And then the wheels fall off. And then it's like, hey, Pep played me every second game. You're only playing me every third game.
yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like when Pochettino came in, like you knew that like that was a tough one because like you think, well, where's he manage? You know, Southampton, Tottenham, 1-0. You know, and like if you're like Angel Di Maria or Ibrahimovic, was Ibrahimovic there at that point? Maybe not. But like there's big egos there. Even when he came in, as good as the manager he was probably thinking, right, lads, fundamentals. Like fundamentals, man.
Do you know who the fuck I am?
Do you know how much I make a week? Actually, I'll break down for you how much I make a second. You know,
I've one of those websites.
That, when they report my wages, they talk about how much I make a second. Let's discuss fundamentals with somebody who needs to hear them. Okay, not me. So yeah, I think Pep is the one keeping it together because it is tough to do. But
I don't know why you'd ever leave though.
Yeah, I mean, why did he leave Barcelona? You know, the pressure was. He said the pressure was tough, but he was back in the year to Bayern, which is like equally as big pressure, just in a different country. So yeah, I think if he wins the Champions League here, he'd feel like he's achieved everything he needs to achieve. I mean, I think I mentioned this last time we talked about his legacy.
Yeah.
Where he said, I don't need to win the Champions League for my legacy. My legacy is already there. Which, if I know Pep, and I feel like I do, he's lying. He was lying to me. Because it's like afterwards, like, yes, my legacy is intact now. He always says, if he says, like, I don't care about the Premier League, he very much does. He just thinks he's going to win it, but he doesn't want to say that in case he doesn't. This is the same thing. It's like, no, this isn't about me. It's about the players. And then afterwards, he'd be like, I'm the greatest man in the world. Count it. 3 Champions Leagues for me. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think, but like it can happen. Like you can see how Mourinho, like the way his career's gone, you wouldn't have said it would have gone this way.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if the charges do ever come true, I could see him just being fucking off then. Like, oh, I'm out of here. Not dealing with that.
Yeah. Well, he's gone on record about that. With the charges saying, listen, if they lied to me, I'm out. So, I mean, that's
a good get out clause.
Yeah. That's a legacy too, though. Like if you're like, oh yeah, I'm out if we're doing things wrong, and then they're not out, and you go, well, you're just jealous. You go, well, now exactly. Okay, it's not like you're now like a tainted winner, and people want to taint him already because people don't like him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's where do you go if you're him? Italy, that'd be a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know. The Spain job.
Yeah, maybe the Spain job. That'd be a good number for him. I think he strikes as one of these people who has who could do other things too.
Yeah.
Like he had other interests outside of football, maybe. Or maybe he doesn't, but I don't know. I just feel a bit young to be going to the Spain job and then retiring,
Yeah.
But speaking of Spain, that league dropped up as well. Barcelona have won the league. Real Madrid have had a pretty poor season. And, but again, by their own standards, they're second.
Yeah, by any other club, they've had a great, great season.
But it ended with, well, that's not ended yet, but it's ending on a really, really sour note for Real Madrid. Let's talk about racism, Will, shall we?
Yeah, just what we're well equipped to deal with.
Yeah, I think I'm well versed in the subject of inter-country relations, race relations.
Yeah.
Dr. Cathal O'Toole is what they call me. Reverend Dr. Cathal O'Toole, here to bring calm to the situation. No, I mean I'm making light of it, but he was racially abused for I think the 6th time. They reckon. Yeah,
this has been something that's happened. Like I always see every few weeks. Like, Vinicius Jr. was abused again, and then the La Liga president said something else to him after the game on Instagram. It's like, this is mad.
Yeah, they do it all over social media, which is bad as well.
Yeah, And like every time I saw it, I was like, that's crazy. What a one-off thing that was. It just keeps happening. It's mad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where in other European countries maybe they don't have as much kind of like social politeness, in England. Like there may be as racist, or definitely there's people who are as racist, but like I'll say it in my corner, my friends, I'll think it all the time, but I won't say it out loud. Whereas in Spain and Italy, it's like, listen, we're all thinking it,
Yeah.
Let's just shout it down from the stadium.
Yeah.
And apparently he was racially abused. I think the whole stadium was shouting monkey at him.
They were singing a song about him being a monkey. Yeah, singing a song about when he was coming off the bus as well. A few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure Atletico Madrid fans hung an effigy of him off a bridge. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and like there's again, like I said, there'd be uproar here in this part of the world, I suppose. But like maybe in Spain there isn't that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like just so openly. I'm not going to sit here and say like, look, Spanish people are more racist. That's a fact, because I feel like there is definitely racism in England and Ireland as well. Not ruling us out, but like it's not as public, not like as shameless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
like roundly, like stomped out and criticized. Like say if it happened in the GA, I think it did even a few weeks ago. That happened, and it was like very much like this is not on. If a player gets racially abused, but then like to have the La Liga president coming out, and I think he made a statement after this one saying like, "Hey, Vinicius Jr is out of order to call us racist." Like, stand behind him for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he needs to educate himself.
Yeah,
I said. I have the few of the quotes here. Vinicius Jr has claimed racism is normal in La Liga. He said the league belongs to racists after being subjected to racist abuse once again. The Brazilians also hit out the Liga president Javier Tebas after he told Vinicius to inform yourself properly, son. I don't know if he said son, but you could tell he meant son.
Yeah.
He was sent off in their 1-0 defeat, or even just 1-0 defeat to Valencia. There's like a brawl. He was trying to get one of the fans.
It was mad because the fan was at him all game.
Yeah.
And they just kept going up to him, and he eventually had enough, went up to him. A big pull apart, lots of players on both teams, like, shouting at the fan. And then one of the Valencia players grabbed Vinicius by the neck and pulled him back. And then let go. Vinicius swiped at him. And then the VAR replay showed the swipe, but none of the chokehold.
Yeah.
And then Vinicius got a red card, which is like, well, surely the last person you want to be sending off in this situation. Yeah,
it was a strange decision because the game had been paused like 10 minutes before that as well to calm the racism down. And it's like Vinicius Jr is going crazy for some reason,
Like I can't believe the VAR refs are like, oh, he swiped. Give it a rest for a few minutes, boys. Let the game calm down.
Yeah, like take a holistic view of what's going on here, a few more quotes here from this because it wasn't the first time, nor the second, nor the third. Racism is normal in Liga. The competition thinks it's normal. The Spanish Football Federation does too, and the opponents encourage it. I'm so sorry. Championship that once belonged to Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Cristiano, and Messi today belongs to racists. A beautiful nation which welcomed me, to which I love, which agreed to export the image of a racist country to the world. I'm sorry for the Spaniards who don't agree, but today in Brazil, Spain is known as a country of racists. Unfortunately, for everything that happens each week, I have no defense. I agree, but I am strong and I will go to the end against racists, even if far from here. That's obviously, translated from Twitter.
Yeah.
So they might think he's butchering that. I'm not. I'm reading it word for word. Okay, it may not make sense to me or you, but what the takeaway here is that it's not like a one-off kind of thing, and it's
not even the third off thing. Insane.
Not once, not twice, or even for the third time. In fact, more than that. And it's not just like, oh, it's just a small bunch of Valencia fans. It's like, yeah, well, it's a small bunch from every team. It's a big bunch of fucking racists. So,
and it's like, it's almost like he's targeted because the racism really gets to him. We'll do that. That might help us win this fucking stupid game.
Yeah. Like it's, and like I said, the president responded and it said he invited him to talk about it, and he turned me down. So,
crazy.
He wanted to sit down with Vinicius and solve racism, and Vinicius didn't want to. So who's the real racist is what he said. Now
who's racist?
Well, listen, I wanted to solve it and you said no, so that seems weird, And then I think Vinicius came back and said, I'm not your friend to sit down and talk about racism. I want you to fucking sanction people and make rules to fucking stop. I'm not here to discuss the pros and cons of racism.
Let's hash it out.
Yeah. Look, I asked Vinicius to come to my White House and hash out what's wrong with these people. But it turns out he's the racist one because he didn't want to do that.
Yeah. You wouldn't come on the pod.
Yeah. I invited my podcast numerous times. But yeah, no word back from Vinicius, so we'll see. Yeah. So that's when he said, so before criticising and insulting the Liga, it is necessary that you inform yourself properly of Vinicius Jr. Not let yourself be manipulated and make sure you fully understand each other's competencies and the work we have been doing together. So don't be like manipulated by the woke mob out there,
The leftist.
There's a leftist plot here that have been chanting monkey chants at me for the whole season, not the actual people in the stand. That it's all a psyop,
Yeah.
It's just like this kind of like defense. Like again, now I will say this is obviously translated from Spanish to English, so maybe I'm missing a couple of things here, but it seems like he's making excuses for these people rather than calling it out. However, once again, then this is replied. It's all done on Twitter. It's all done online, which is, I guess, transparent, but whatever. Once again, instead of criticizing racists, the president of the league appears on social media to attack me. As much as you talk and pretend not to read, the image of your championship is shaken. See the responses to your posts and have a surprise. So check the replies, pal. They're on my side. You're not yours.
He's getting cooked in the quotes.
Yeah. Check the quote tweets. Omitting yourself only makes you equal to racists. I'm not your friend to talk about racism. I want actions and punishments. Hashtags don't move me. And of course, did you see Ancelotti obviously backed him and Xavi backed him. But interestingly, the UEFA president also weighed in.
Oh no.
Infantino weighs in. Yeah. Full solidarity to Vinicius, he wrote.
Yeah.
Fist emoji, like a bicep emoji. With you all the way, pal. It's like, you're UEFA. What do you mean you're with them?
Yeah.
Full solidarity. Solidarity? Against who? UEFA?
Fight the good fight, Vinicius.
Yeah. Don't take any guff from those swines, Vinicius.
Yeah. The football baddies.
And then he went on to explain what the 3-step process is. You stop the game, you call them out. Explain, basically just took it from the website. And then he said,
exactly.
Clearly, this is easier said than done. But when we need to do it, and we need to support it through education. So he's like, yeah, that's the protocol. But I also accept that maybe that shouldn't happen sometimes. But whatever, support the process and every with them.
I mean, the 3-step protocol, I get the theory behind it, you go through the proper channels. But I mean, if someone's calling you a monkey, you're not going to be hear it and just calmly walk over to the ref and go, that fella's called me a monkey. And then okay, I'll call off the game.
Yeah.
If you don't react immediately, which you're going to, then nothing's going to be done. If you're calm and composed, the ref's okay, let's keep things moving here, pal. You seem fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you get tackled. It's you don't actually go down. It's well, you go down for nothing, so this must be absolutely nothing. Yeah. There's no way you got kicked. It's it's all about the optics. Yeah. It's the player's losing the mind. Okay, all right, I better stop this. But if it's by the way, I'm not really happy with this. Can you make it half time? Maybe they'll stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I got to go home as well. I don't know. Again, it's a pressure. If it's one player saying it, you have to make a protest, do a walkout. Otherwise it's it's not going to make any difference. And he's obviously brought this up numerous times, and nobody's doing anything for him. The president of the Liga doesn't care. UEFA is yeah, man, fight the power.
Hell yeah, brother. A lot of the Brazilian national team now and the president of Brazil have put out statements backing Vinicius as well and condemning La Liga, which does feel like it's snowballing into a bigger thing, which is if this happens again, or maybe even from this one, La Liga could have a walkout or something like that on their hands. This is the type of thing where it can build to that level if you don't make a real change quick.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, the way that the Valencia players were dragged them back, you really shouldn't have been. If you're on his side, you wouldn't have been doing it at all.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be racist, right? I'm not going to be racist.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the fans are not isolated in this vacuum of racism in like these
Yeah.
back streets of Spain.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the players are.
It's a reflection on society. You know, this isn't like, oh, who are these people? It's like, these are the people who live in Spain. You know what I mean? Like, be it the minority or whatever, but like, you know, if there's a minority of them, there's still a section of players who think, well,
yeah, exactly.
maybe they should play in their own league, you know? Maybe
exactly. Like, I'm sure there's nasty enough players who are like, hey, I know exactly what gets in Vinicius' head. I've seen him lose the head over this before. So, like, that's the type of thing that does happen.
It's same as like, you know, why aren't there any more gay players in football? Like, everybody's supporting. It's like, I think you'd be surprised that there's, you know, like, when you have your own little bubble, and you if you think, oh, people are generally decent, like, I think they are generally decent and do kind of have a moral fiber or whatever, but like, there is elements of people who don't, you know, and like, if you're rich or poor, like, there is those people out there, you know, it's not about it, you know, where they come from or how much money they make. So yeah, I think you would need full support for this kind of Liga walkout, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully now it does snowball and something is actually done about it. But like, the fact that he gets like sent off in all games, like, it's like, clearly this isn't about a bad tackle or something, you know.
He wasn't just sent off for his swipe. The player he swiped at went down. He went down trying to get him sent off.
Yes,
like,
that's the thing we left out.
That's
but, I mean,
insane. that was even on his mind at the time.
He's still thinking, I'm going to get this guy sent off because
we can get a result here.
Yeah, he's getting rattled by this. You know, like it wasn't the case like, oh, everyone's like, put football aside, like, this is wrong. It's like, some did. Definitely some did. You know, we don't know who exactly we can't read their minds. But yeah, I think it's I don't know. I don't know if it's like, if they're more racist or if it's just a kind of a more look, if it comes from the Liga president saying it's okay, essentially.
Exactly.
Then, you know.
Well, that's what's happened, is that it happened the first time and nothing was done about it. And then the next team was like, they did it as well. Vinicius got anger. And now it's become a thing where it's like the fans do it for the fun almost.
Yeah, well, it's you know, it riles players up, and it's, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Bad stuff, ugly scenes.
Yeah.
Hopefully there is a resolution to it. I think it's one of those things that might develop over the week, maybe, because we're at the time now where like the league's done up in Spain. Like, there's nothing to distract it from. You know, there's no kind of more big games left, so you can't just like hope that the news round does away with it. I think something will have to come of it. There will have to be some kind of solution to this. But
like, even like the higher ups, like say the Madrid president, there's no way he's happy about this happening every week to one of his fucking players. Like,
no, and as if you're having like the managers of Barcelona and Real Madrid come out, you know that their ownership isn't saying don't say anything. They're saying,
yeah, exactly,
because you know that would happen too if they're like, listen, let's see where this one goes.
We need fourth, boys. If it was earlier this season.
Yeah, so hopefully something that does happen, but yeah, we will see about that, I suppose. For now, Will, do we have some breaking news from the past?
I think we do. We always do. Yep, we're getting into the top four, wrapping up, and relegation. Leicester could be done today, I think. Is that right?
Ooh. It's currently 0-0.
Great result for Newcastle if it stays that way.
Yes, as it stands, the top four will be City, Arsenal. That's locked in. If Newcastle have 2 games left, including this one, they need 1 point from those games to guarantee top 4. United in the exact same position. They get 1 point from the last 2 games. They get top 4. If they're to both lose the next 2 games and Liverpool were to win, their next 1 game, Liverpool would get top 4. United would fall out.
Yeah.
If all 3 of those teams lost their games and Brighton won the next 2 games, but are they in Europa League now or are they in the Conference League? I think
they're in Europa League now, but they have Villa to play on the last day. And they could do City, who are not on the beach, they're on the pub.
Yeah, they're on the lash, on the bag.
That might be liable.
Well, of creatine, I meant, you know?
Yeah.
Which we know for a fact they are. Well, listen, actually we don't. All we know that he takes magic powder, you know?
Yeah, magic powder makes him fart and stronger.
The 116th breach, the magic powder. Anywho. So yeah, that's permutations. I mean, in all likelihood, it'll be City, Arsenal, Newcastle, United. But it could be Liverpool in there, or it could be, yeah, that's the only other team I could get into, Liverpool, if they were to win and Newcastle were to lose the next 2 games.
You have to think the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, probably United as well,
Yeah.
are have to be a bit worried that Newcastle are in the top 4 already and have already gotten like the crazy Champions League money, which they don't need obviously, but it allows them through FFP to spend even bigger. Like straight away, first try.
I mean, if you're Tottenham, you'd be worried for sure. I think Chelsea and United, I'd be looking at that saying everyone's had a bad year except for City. Like the traditional tops. I mean, Arsenal have had a good year and had an outrageously good year that they finished second. So there's still 2 spots. They're not a million miles off. Newcastle have had a very good year. But, is Eddie Howe Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
I think next year there is 5 Champions League spots. Because it's the new Champions League starts the season after that. With like however the fuck that works. But I think the Premier League gets 5 or 6 spots or something like that. So then the league's really done. Then there's no point watching.
Yeah, okay. Well, if there's an extra spot, then I wouldn't be worried at all if I was United or Chelsea. But I don't know. So the top 4, I would say, is pretty much done. If you want Liverpool to get in, you're going to hope that United lose the next 2 games, which honestly, that would be a bottling.
Oh yeah, that'd be extreme bottling. Both games are at home. One of them's against Chelsea.
Yeah, you'd imagine they'll get 1 point out of 6. Like that would be crazy if they can get that. Newcastle team have already got their 1 point, so they should be fine. The only other permutation then is if Aston Villa can leapfrog Brighton on the last day to get Europa League. If you're Brighton or Aston Villa, what do you want? Conference or Europa?
I think Brighton want to go because Brighton are really good. I think Brighton could give it a good go in the Europa. I don't think Aston Villa are at that level yet. I think they're overperforming. But I mean, Brighton are great across the board. And if they can keep those players because they're playing in Europa, I think that'd be massive for them.
The other side of that, though, Will, is that Aston Villa were maybe underperforming under Gerrard all year.
Well, that is true, yes.
If they had him at the start, maybe they'd be like in 5th. Maybe they'd push them over 4th. Who knows? But this Brighton team is good as of 22nd of May, 2023.
Yeah, we don't know who's going to be there.
1st of September, 2023. We'll see which team is playing in the Europa League or Europa Conference League, because it could be a very different side.
There is a chance as well that if Brighton beat Villa on the last day and Tottenham win their last game, then Villa get no European football at all.
Which would not be good.
No. To come that close, and I mean, it'd be mad if next season the top 6 is shit again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think either side, I think you want to go. It's probably more money for Europa League too, is it?
I would assume, yeah.
I mean, it's not Champions League money we're talking about here, but everything would go a bit further. Everything will help. So I think that's probably the game to watch in the last day of the season, Brighton versus Aston Villa. It's probably the most at stake. I mean, for the relegation, we obviously have Southampton down. I don't think I ever congratulated you for calling that at the start of the season, Will. Fair play. I mean, they were kind of circling the drain, but you still got to call it. They were the bottom league, the bottom team. Leicester, if Leicester are in the best position, they draw this game, or as long as they don't lose this game, they're in the best position. But if they lose this game, they're out.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, because then they can only
30. Yeah, they would be. Yeah.
Well, no, because if they have better goal difference than Everton, so if they lose this and then they win and Everton lose,
yes, that's it.
So if Leicester win, they go 33 points. Everton will be on 34. Well, no, Leicester will also be on 34 if they keep drawing. Let's have one check in with the breaking news of the past. It is 0-0. This is the worst way to do permutations. When the game is still going on, talk about a team that may or may not have the points. This is a joke. Anyway, look, we have more Premier League during the week. Of course, we have to finish up round 37. The second last round. We're still got to wrap up some loose ends here.
I'm telling you, all the teams who are playing each other at the games don't matter. Should be allowed to just call it in, skip it.
Brighton play Man City on Wednesday, and Man United play Chelsea on Thursday. So we'll probably be back for a really exciting Patreon episode of that.
A must draw against a team that's on the beach.
I mean, look, we this is like a golden rule on the Nonsense podcast that every time we go, well, that'll be a boring week. That nothing's going to be newsworthy there. There will be a riot at the Chelsea game or something.
La Liga is going to go under.
the Vinicius is going to be announced at halftime the Chelsea game. It's going to be something like crazy, and then we'd be like, oh shit, we weren't covering it. So you might think, I'm not going to fucking bother with that. You should bother with that.
You should. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to cover those 2 games midweek on patreon.com.
Yep.
/Anonymous Podcast. Also on patreon.com this week, we will have our second podcast series, After the Nonsense, where we just kind of shoot the shit, just the boys or the girls, the ladies, the fellas, everybody's invited. It's like a chill hang after work.
Yeah, the cool party.
It's a cool party that 2 guys that you probably wouldn't hang out with in real life are inviting you to.
Yeah, you're sitting in the sitting room. The 2 guys will not stop talking.
Oh God, they have mics and earphones. We're actually going to a real party to do the podcast. So we'll be live from a real party doing the podcast. It's called After Nonsense. We do it every week. We go around to college towns around Ireland, and we because we look quite young, we're quite handsome. Yeah. So we get into these young parties and they think,
we knock on doors,
and they go, "What's in the bag?" It's our laptops. We say it's beer and it's drugs, and they go, "Oh yeah, come on in." And then we give it a minute. We schmooze a bit. We find a corner.
We find a table.
We set up. And that's it. And you might say, why didn't you say you're DJs? I didn't think about that for a second. So I said it was drinking drugs. And that's basically After Nonsense in a nutshell.
Yeah.
$5 a month, not even $4.50 a month.
$4.50 a month. For some people, it's a $5.
Depends where you live. Depends where you're listening from. Depends where you're beaming in from. It could be more, it could be less than that. The pound versus the euro. I don't even know. It's
around there.
I don't even be on the dollar. I don't know where that's at these days. Sworn off stocks, as you all know.
Yeah, if you're on the Patreon, you'd know.
You'd know all about that. Stocks and knives, a thing of the past for your old pal Cahill. Well, now it's on planes. I still have my day-to-day knife.
My fun knife.
My fun knife. The kind of your everyday knife. Everyone has an everyday knife. I have mine just up on a plane. It's a way of weaning off. Anyway. We have that coming up. Yeah, I suppose we'll cover the last day of the season.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week for a normal episode.
The official Premier League wrap up. We
should do awards, actually. We should do Team of the Season, all that stuff. That's what we should do next week. Team of the Season, the Golden Lukaku has to be awarded, of course.
The Golden Lukaku officially awarded.
I'll tell you what, Will, just on that, right? I don't know if I mentioned this before on the pod. Someone had a go at me about my having a go at Rashford.
Oh, really?
Well, I've ruined the joke now, to be honest, but by saying that. But player of the month for Haaland, how many does he have?
I would say 3.
He has 2. Player of the month for Salah, 0. Player of the month for Marcus Rashford, 3. So
I do remember one of those months. There was only 2 games in it.
Well, I didn't know about that, and I was left speechless. And 2 after the World Cup, 1 before the World Cup, which I can't say was a good run. Like I was saying, it's like it was more than that, my friend. He's been good all season.
Well, he's the only person scoring goals for Man United.
So yeah, I mean, look, maybe he does deserve it more than Salah, even though he has less goals and assists, and a team that's better. But whatever, that was part of it. And also, I saw obviously Julian Alvarez scored today. Or not today, at the weekend. That's his 9th goal of the season in the league.
That's good going.
Do you know who else has 9 goals?
Who?
Darwin Núñez. He has as many goals as Darwin Núñez. Remember he went on a run? It was like he scored goals like nobody's business. He scored like 3 goals.
Darwin Núñez in weeks.
He hurt his toe apparently. He's out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, look, the player of the award ceremony. I mean, I may have taken off my eye off the individual performances, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting.
The goal Lukaku is going to be close.
There's going to be some debate over the goal Lukaku and our team of the year, and maybe we'll come up with some actually interesting awards as well, rather than just like the standard stuff. We'll try with something. Yeah, so that's about it, I'd say, Will. Anything else? Do you have any other things on our mind?
That about covers it. Like we said, if you want to get the bonus episodes, patreon.com/no-nonsense-pod. The link is in the description to this episode.
Also, we have the Champions League as well coming up. We're going to watch Inter win that, which is going to be stop the treble,
Yeah, Yep.
I want them to beat United. That'd be good. But I want them to lose Inter in the final, which is going to happen.
Yeah.
So I know you're thinking, but Carl, didn't Inter lose 3-1 at the weekend to Napoli and get a man sent off? Like, yes, they did. But I still think they will win.
Yeah,
so
me too.
You do well. Oh, good.
I do too.
Yeah.
in my heart of hearts.
I actually don't, but I want them to.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
This is a totally shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty of
time.
time, no problem.